right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. This is your brother M.0.T.B from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Melbourne, Australia. Back at it with another update in news and prophecy. All right. And we know the ultimate game for Esau Edom is to usher in his enterprise, which ultimately goes into the New World Order. All right. Or NWO. All right. Which in order for you to participate, you will have to take the charagma, which we know that to be the RFID micro C-hip. But take a listen to what I'm about to play in this news broadcast. Here we go.
Switch taking place in Victoria as drivers take up digital licences for the first time. The first day saw more than 4,000 make the change every hour.
Our driver's licences have gone mobile, and it took just 24 hours for more than 100,000 Victorians to download their digital ID.
It's now available on the Services Victoria app or the MyVic Roads app. It's really simple to download.
The government is confident our data is safe after hiring cyber hackers to find security flaws in the prototype.
Vic Roads has never been hacked. You know, you never say never, but we have gone through the most extensive processes that we can.
Used properly, the digital licenses should be more secure. The phone is locked, the phone has a PIN, the phone has biometrics.
It can be used as you would your plastic card to prove your right to drive and your identity. 4.5 million fully licensed Victorians now eligible to make the switch.
I don't think it's the end of the wallet. I think it's the end of not having a choice but to always have the wallet.
But the majority of people on public transport still have to carry around a physical Mikey card, with iPhone users waiting for an update on when they can tap and go. The government has confirmed it doesn't plan to start trialling the digital technology until later in the year.
If you're someone that doesn't use public transport very often, at the moment you have to buy a Mikey card, you have to top it up. You can't even do that if you're catching a tram or a bus. In the meantime, cities around Australia are moving ahead with this. Canberra's just announced it'll be done by the end of the year. Adelaide's pushing ahead, Brisbane's pushing ahead, Sydney's already got it.
Sonia Marinelli, 7 News.
Right, so as you can see, Melbourne, Victoria, all right, in my neck of the woods, they're pushing full steam ahead, all right, with this digital technology. And it all centers around to the end game of having everyone with the micro C-hip, all right, as I mentioned at the intro of this lesson. Now, while that's going on, all right, let's turn our attentions to redacted, all right, and this is fair use, fair use.
Basically, he's saying, you are all sheep, and when the elites speak, you will follow us. Watch him and listen.
And notice he said, when the elites speak, all right, you are sheep and you will follow us, all right? And just like the individual stated in the news broadcast that this is the end of basically you won't have control over, you know, what to do, what to say, what you own, or whatever the case may be. You're going to accept whatever it is that we give you, and then that's going to be the end of it. No questions asked, right?
Digital form of cash. Today, clearly, we're in a hybrid situation. We're using both. And we know in the past, when it comes to cash, central bankers were very much in control with all aspects of cash. And now we're comfortable to the point where the private sector plays a big role in the printing of the cash, in distribution of the cash, and with the private sector, we use interest rates to manage the supply of cash. The same thing is likely to happen with CBDC. Yes, the central bank will have a role, but at some point in time, the same way we don't call it central bank cash, we're probably going to stop calling it central bank digital currency. It's going to be a digital form of the cash, and at some point in time, hopefully, we will be able to be 100% digital.
So basically, in a nutshell, he's alluding to what was stated 2 years ago by Pippa Malmgren at the World Economic Forum Committee, when she said that we're on the brink of a new digital currency on a rise. All right. And we're going to do away with the current monetary system that we are currently in. Now you understand why things such as the BRICS nations are going to announce their BRICS digital coin coming up in their next big meeting. And they're going to utterly do away with the current fiat cash, the system that we currently have today. In other words, they're going to do away with the US dollar, man. All right. So all roads point to, all right, the RFID micro C-HIP. And if you can't see it by now, then I don't know what else to tell you, because ultimately the end goal is they want to have everybody C-HIP. All right. And, you know, there was an interview by Aaron Russo, which, if the spirit permits me, I'll put that in the post-production of this video. But he said Nick Rockefeller was the one that told him that the end goal is to have everybody micro C-HIP, man. Okay, because that barcode system, your money is going to be tied to what Yuval Harari stated: surveillance under the skin. And if I can remember, I will also tie that into this lesson. All right, but let's continue.
People are used to it right now. Is many of our payments are digital. The truth is, I said that we're in a hybrid model. There's less and less use of cash. And I think from predominantly digital with a little physical, I think the transition to fully digital is not going to be a stretch. People are used to it, people have engaged in it, and circumstances did help.
Notice he said people are used to it. And why are people used to it? Because Esau likes to use what's called gradualism, right? Which, if we go to our etymon online and you type in gradualism, all right, it says what? A gradual method of action. All right, 1832, an abolitionist Salakia literature as a disparaging term, all right, opposed to immediatism from gradual plus ism. All right, now when you go into gradual, down here it says having steps or ridges. A step climbed, a step towards something, a degree of something rising by stages. And this is how these devils get down. They use gradualism to build upon what it is that they are trying to accomplish. And so these sequence of steps, by altering our mindsets through enchantments, witchcraft, by placing it into movies, all right, telling you what they're planning to do, okay, trying to psych you out, adding it into our music, okay, showing it in TV shows, all right, broadcasting it through mainstream media, okay, your politicians speaking it, all right, so that they can manifest it on the left-hand side. All of these things play a part in the end game of Esau Edom's New World Order, man, okay? All right, so let's close this out.
Adoption rates increased because of COVID.
Yeah.
This is where contactless started to become something of a necessity, something of a safety, something of a requirement. And because of that, there is very little resistance. Trust is already there. We just need to build it in a way that makes sure that we safeguard the risks. Cybersecurity risk is a must, and it needs to be dealt with at the national level.
And see that you got to pay attention to the lingo this man is speaking. He goes into about cybersecurity is there, but how do we know, all right, or how should the masses of the people know that you talk about cybersecurity, but how do they know that when you completely switch over to your all-out industrial revolution 4.0, okay, the rise of technology, AI, okay, and all of that sorts, how do we know that there's not going to be disruptions within the digital currency system? You see, and that's why the scripture says, all right, when they should say peace and safety, all right, let's grab that. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, because they're gonna try to lure you in to the fact that they have the solution to all of your problems. They have everything at the forefront, right? So it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh, all right, upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So that's why the scripture says in Job, all right, what's that? Job 20, And 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked, all right, which when you go into that word wicked, essentially goes into his laborers, shall come upon him. All right. That's why you have a lot of these workers protesting, standing back, unions getting involved, not getting the pay. All right. Verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating, because ultimately he's not going to fully establish his new world order. Just a moment when he starts to tap in. All right, because we understand, according to biblical prophecies, some men have to be martyred, all right, for resisting it. All right, resisting that RFID micro C hip. Okay, other, things with like Jacob's trouble have to come. All of these things have been prophesied. It has to come. All right. And so Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is not going to let him get away, okay, with fully establishing this system. And this is where we take comfort in knowing these things. Okay. But let's get some more. Take it back a little bit.
In a way that makes sure that we safeguard the risks. Cybersecurity risk is a must, and it needs to be dealt with at the national level. And to counter cybersecurity risk, you need to continue to invest, you need to continue to collaborate, and you need to continue to train. With those three things, we've done it in the past. I think we should be able to manage these risks.
Okay, I have a lot of...
All right, and there you go. And as you can see there in the background, World Economic Forum, all right, with the little circle slashing through the O's, the three O's, which represents 666, man. Okay. You get these devils, they make it known through their symbolism. But nevertheless, let's close it out. Revelation, okay, the 13th chapter, because ultimately this ties into this prophecy that we are awaiting to take part, all right, or to come to pass. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, no matter what your status is on this planet Earth, to receive a mark or a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of his beast or the number of his name. And that's the important part, because you will not be able to do any sort of transaction here on the planet Earth except you are engrafted into that system via way of taking what they deem as surveillance under the skin, that micro C hip. And here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And we've broken this down many a times. When you go into the cheese size stigma, the word stigma in the Greek goes back to an incision planted within the skin, okay, which back in Oriental, which means the East, the ancient, back in the ancient world, that's how they used to tell their slaves. All right. You will put a bore. You either bore the ear of your slave. OK, or you would brand them. OK. And that's why the scripture says there is no new thing under the sun. What happened back then in the ancient world is going to happen again, but this time on a greater level using their technology on the left hand side. All right. So with that, giving all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakahak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect, the tabernacle of David. Lord's will, this was edifying. Let's on to the next. Shalom.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the M.0.T.B, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is given me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control.
My favorite economic forum speaker of all time is this reptile, Klaus Schwab's top advisor, Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. Let's see what he has to say.
Data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
Elites hacking organisms and re-engineering life itself? Well, he's not talking about doing that to people, is he?
Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough, and nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people.
Well, I guess he was talking about doing that to people. All people, to be specific.
And if indeed we succeed in hacking and engineering life, this will be not just the greatest revolution in the history of humanity. This will be the greatest revolution in biology since the very beginning of life 4 billion years ago. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed.
Not playing God, are you? Because that usually works out super well.
Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some God above the clouds.
Oh, you are playing God. Say more.
But our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces of evolution.
Gosh, you wouldn't by chance have a plan in place on how to control people with your cloud technology, would you? And that plan isn't by chance already being implemented, is it?
Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale.
Oh, so you could implement it.
In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste. People could look back in 100 years and identify as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
Free will, that's over.